said if it doesn't
Hey,
feel right, pivot in life. It doesn't feel right, pivot in
pivot
life.
in love.
Man,
We got a
look.
career. Look
That's
at
it. Look. We're both activists, entrepreneurs, and entertainers. Man, it's deeper than
Yeah.
business. Welcome to Build with Rob. It is Rob Dyrdek, your host. Today, man, it's about adaptivity and flexibility. How can we just be more adaptive and more flexible? How do we allow our mind share to be more flexible so that we learn to think with an adaptive mind? Where when we get stuck or get put into a position that we know that we have to go through the process to think through what is the change that we can make to push things forward, And I really started thinking that because today we have another special episode featuring another great nonprofit, NFTE, an amazing organization that teaches entrepreneur programs. We just did another See It, Believe It, Do It challenge with them, where we, again, give a donation to the nonprofit and then provide $20,000 in non-dilutive capital to a group of their students who have graduated their programs and have business ideas that they get to pitch. And of course, we're out here we're preaching life and business visions. In this particular episode, again, we have the director of Nifty and then a young lady who has a really cool business. And it's just an all around, young superstar in the making in all aspects of life. As a guest on the show today. But one of the really cool things about, their program, it's super refined because it's been, they've been, essentially teaching entrepreneur programs, since 1987, really one of the first groups to really ever do it. And they've evolved over time. And now they have these sort of like 8 foundational sort of like pillars that they teach, students and people that come into their program that want to learn the entrepreneurial mindset and really different aspects of business. But, all the great stuff, creativity and innovation, opportunity recognition, future orientation, initiative and self-reliance, comfort with risk, communication, collaboration, critical thinking, but above all, flexibility and adaptability, And it's like, it's so important in life to be thinking about everything through that lens of being flexible and adaptable, right? And, they describe it as the ability and willingness to change actions and plans to overcome present and future challenges. You know what I mean? And that's just, it's so important in all aspects of anything you are hoping to do in your life. Like, everything that you choose to do, whether it's a business, any type of goal, you have to start at the end, right? And build your plan backwards on how you're going to lead out and achieve that. But the problem is, no goal is a straight shot. It's like, as I like to say, you expand into goals, and as you gain knowledge and you evolve, that you begin to understand all of the places that you actually need to grow or pivot in order to continue to push forward towards the milestones of achieving those goals. And a cornerstone of that is understanding that you must be flexible and adaptable to everything going on. Because you have to understand, when you design a goal and have a mission and know exactly what you're doing, you're still going to be faced with the moments where you just get stuck. And your mind has to be trained, like the moment you get stuck, to begin to start to look at different ways to attack a problem, look at different creative ways to find a solution that can create progress and push you towards the next milestone of what you're hoping to achieve. And a lot of times, you love your plan so much and you're marching towards your plan. When you get stuck, you just keep trying to push and push. And you never really think about, like, the world is evolving around you, while you were evolving, while the ideas evolving, while the vision's evolving. All of this stuff is changing. And when you get caught into a position where it's not going the way that you had expected and it slows down or stops, man, you've got to be flexible and adaptive. You've got to know when to pull back and make another decision. When to make a micro pivot, if you will, to evolve the opportunity further, rather than just getting stuck. And I think a lot of times, early on, you make a plan and you really want to stick to that plan, and you think the best way is to keep fighting for what you had initially designed, because that is the path forward as you understand it. And it's so hard, man. It's really one of the hardest things that you can do is stop and look at your progress and what has slowed it down, and now start thinking of all of these different potential avenues to get around how you've been stopped that could push you forward. It's very difficult, especially when you have big ideas or big things happening, and you're in a certain position and it seems like there is no other possible solution other than continuing forward on the current path. But you got to train yourself to always be thinking in a flexible manner and always be open to change, because since everything will be changing around you, especially as you're learning and growing and getting closer to it, you've got to recognize that it's on you to continually be more fluid as you're chasing anything that you're hoping to achieve. Okay, look, without further ado, I want to bring in the director of Nifty before we speak to him for a little bit and learn more about the organization. Love for everybody who loves the show, of course, to like and subscribe wherever you do it. Leave a comment. Let us know how you're feeling, what you're thinking, what it is. And again, I just want everybody to always think about how they can support these organizations that we work with through our foundation, and because they are great organizations doing a lot of great work, especially if you're an entrepreneur and you want to be a part of help mentoring these different students that have come a long way in learning what it is to be an entrepreneur. All right, please welcome the one and only KENE Turner. KENE Turner, welcome to Build with Rob, man. Appreciate you having you on here today, man. I just want to thank you so much. Thank you to Nifty, the entire organization, everything that you guys do. Thank you for connecting with us and willing to be a part of our See It, Believe It, Do It challenge to kind of give us a chance to connect with young entrepreneurs that have learned the way and give them some potentially non-dilutive capital to chase that dream. But I really appreciate you being here. Can you tell us all about Nifty and sort of the mission that you guys are on?
Absolutely. Well, thanks for having us here, Rob. This is a phenomenal opportunity to get a chance to talk about how we contribute to the ecosystem, the entrepreneurial ecosystem that benefits our young people from high school to young adult age, and the years that we've sowed as an organization, 35 plus years. You can read more about it at nfte.com. And the journey it's been to build up communities that, benefit from this empowerment strategy that entrepreneurship brings, right? And so it's so much more than just, talking about or teaching business principles or definitions and defining what a competitive advantage is, or what opportunity recognition is, or what a target market is, right? And so those are phenomenal things to learn, and they'll be beneficial to our learners who, reside in communities that are labeled, under-resourced or underrepresented. Nifty's had a chance to embed this education, which creates this ecosystem of support for young people. And that's really, at the essence, when you unlayer it, it's just this conduit we get to be to the communities for resources, not only financial, but human resource, that young people get to meet people that maybe they would have never met as a result of being a part of the Nifty program. And that's just such a great, place, position for us to be able to be that support for our young people that are on these journeys, families that are on these journeys, to explore and to, to reveal that, we're not necessarily teaching them something new all the time. Sometimes this journey is equally about exposure and knowing that they have these capabilities within themselves. We create an environment where we bring it out.
Yeah,
And they
look,
get exposed like, oh,
yeah,
I got this
yeah.
already.
And I love that because Charles Choice, who's the director of the Do or Die or Visionary Foundation, like went through Nifty when he was 13. And like and what I was asking him, like, that's so young to really be exposed to this, and like at its core, it showed him that it was possible. Like, man, I could start a business one day. Like it planted the seed that created essentially this evolution in him that allowed him to take a completely different trajectory,
That's right.
which I think is, again, like a huge, huge piece of it. I really love like the framework that you guys have created. It's labeled as like tools for life, you know what I mean? Like, which is,
Exactly.
kind of comes from that entrepreneurial mindset. But the first one is critical thinking. The second one is flexibility and adaptability. And it's like, if you just take those two, you know what I mean? Like, where it's like, man, thinking through, like looking at systems and processes on how to solve different problems. And then this idea that, hey, everything's going to be a challenge, like having that flexibility and adaptability to change and evolve inside, which is what you have to do if you are in a business,
That's right.
But again, like, let me read them off: communication and collaboration, comfort with risk, initiative and self-reliance, future orientation, opportunity recognition, creativity and innovation. I mean, look,
there you go.
that's what I love so much about it, is that was instilled in him, and it made him a better, more fulfilled human being. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Which I really just absolutely like love about the program, and ultimately, how it connects even with teachers a lot of times, which was the case with him, to be able to introduce students to it. And it, it's and Nifty for sure. I mean, since '87, this is like the forefront of it. You know what I mean? Of really even this sort of concept for teaching it to the youth. And so what is sort of the current like scale, and what is sort of the future of Nifty, and sort of the vision for what everything's happening right now?
Yeah, and you hit it right on the nose, right? So, Nifty as an organization, we really do stress the entrepreneurial mindset. And you read off those 8 domains that is embedded in all our curriculum and all of our strategy, in terms of what we're looking to do to bring transformational change within communities, right? And so that mindset can be used to start a business or be entrepreneurial while working for them. And so we emphasize, entrepreneurship, running and starting your own business. We also emphasize entrepreneurship, right? Like, you may work for an organization where you get to be creative, you get to be adaptable, you get to, still be, learn about comfort with risk and how that's so transferable, whether you actually start your own business right away. And we definitely position our young people to do that. It's also a win if they go in the world of work and they adapt these entrepreneurial skills to the world of work, where they stand out and they adapt these principles that way. So, right now, Nifty, for the most part, our young people interact with Nifty, whether in high school or college level, through a course. And so we have a variety of curriculum that, whether it's an actual course that students take during the school day, or it's an after school program. We have, curriculum that adjusts to the after school environment. We have curriculum that, we give what's called biz camps or business camps during the summer for young people to interact and engage that way. And all of it is awesome, because what Nifty currently is, we've, stepped into this digital space. We provide a lot of our, curriculum and experience digitally for both our young people as well as our stakeholders who come and volunteer. And over again, a lot of times stakeholders come in as volunteers and they go, they're excited about inputting or, helping our students learn. And so many of them walk away with the opposite. They've learned equally, or maybe even more, from our young people. They're so resilient and so creative already. And so, we really come from this asset-based approach. A lot of times when you think about communities of color, you think of it from a deficit place, right? Like, what are they missing that we can help fix? What's broken that we can help heal? And, we come from a place where we acknowledge that, but we also say, these communities, already have what's necessary to heal themselves. We're here to help bring that out. And so in that, learning is reciprocated. It's not just someone coming to teach, they're also teaching. And, that environment is so important in that ecosystem for a long time to come. So going back to Charles Choice, he's an alum, here we are almost 20 years later, those bridges are in place, right? For our alumni to come back, so we get alumni that come back. We have an incubator program. Just one of the resources we have an incubator program for alumni. Maybe they took Nifty 10 years ago. They come back. It's called the Founders Forum. They get to come back and, participate and build their businesses if that's what they want to do. And we bring the resources together for that. So we're thinking about those bridges, like what happens when the Nifty program's over at that school or that after school or that biz camp? Is there anything for them to come back and do? And we've identified several things where they could be lifers,
Yeah, and look, hey, without a doubt, you got a lifer in Charles Choice. You know what I mean? You did it with that young man, and look, I think, one educated 1.2 million young entrepreneurs since 1987. I think it's a remarkable program. I'm glad that we got together and we're able to do this and look forward to doing it many years in the future. Again, if anybody support this great organization, nfte.com, you can learn all about it and donate and be a mentor, support it. If you're an entrepreneur, there's so many different great ways to get involved with Nifty. They are an amazing organization. We look forward to spending some time with the winner of our See It, Believe It, Do It challenge. But again, Kenny, thank you so much for connecting with us and collaborating with us. And we look forward to a thriving partnership in the future, man. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Rob. Same here.
All right, be good. AMYLAH Charles, welcome to Build with Rob. How are you?
I'm doing great, Rob. How are you?
First of all, I'm doing amazing. I live an extraordinary life of harmony and balance. I try to push my entire existence as an entrepreneur in a balanced fashion so that I can live a fulfilling, harmonious existence. Now, I would like to congratulate you for winning the See It, Believe It, Do It challenge. I'm deeply impressed with you. You are an activist. You are an entrepreneur. You are an entertainer. But I do want to first of all say congratulations, well-deserved victory in the See It, Believe It, Do It challenge. And what I'd like to know from you real quick before we get going is, what did being a part of Nifty do for you? Like in the sense of furthering your evolution and sort of teaching you about entrepreneurship and kind of getting you into the place that you are. What did you learn from Nifty these last couple years?
It's been amazing. My journey started in 2020 when I was with the Los Angeles Urban League Biz Camp. That's like who they partner with. And it just showed me that I could, what I like to say, be everything outside of the box people try to put you in. Because if you let people's preconceived notions dictate what you go for in life, you'll never become that head honcho, that big person at the top. It taught me that people can meet you where you are and that you're never too young. There is no wrong or right way for an entrepreneur to behave or act. You can, as long as you can get your work done and you're personable and what you're doing is not jeopardizing the livelihood of anybody else, you can do it. You got it.
Yeah, and look, I think that's it is the belief, because you got to grow belief. I can't implore that to you enough. It's like building a business is exciting until you're running the business. Then it's like, what's going on here? Like it's this and that. And and again, I also believe you can be any age to do it, because when you take the step, you're already beginning to learn. And this learning is part of your evolution that's helping you build that belief in the long term of what it will take to actually build a successful business, because it is complex and you have to learn what you don't even know exists, that they can't even ultimately teach you in a class. You have to learn it through experience. I think that's one of the big parts of it. So look, I would love for you to share with all of our listeners the vision for Curly Crowns.
All right, vision. Y'all ready? Okay, so my vision was to not only nourish the crowns of those in my community, Black and Latinx, with all different hair types and styles. I wanted to nourish their souls. I wanted to be a brand that was bigger than hair. Like, we can't just be so narrow-minded. And so that's why we're social justice oriented, and we're well-versed in the health realm, because there was a lot of harmful chemicals in the industry that are just not doing us right. So I wanted to spread awareness and be a brand with a purpose. So I examine each and every herb that goes into my product, because we care about our consumer and we want to make you feel loved. Because as a child, I saw a lot of abrasive marketing that was telling you to either cut your hair, perm your hair, or it's not right for society. And how are you going to tell me what I was born with isn't appeasing to those around me? So I just want to instill in my customers and in society that what you were born with is amazing and it deserves to be nourished, enhanced, and embraced.
And look, this is what I have so much faith in your future. You know what I mean? I know it's hard to be young and deal with the chaos of trying to make everything work, but foundationally and fundamentally, you have the it in you. You know what I mean? And it's a matter of growing into it over time. And that's from someone that knows, you know what I mean? I could feel it as you were speaking, you know what I mean? And look, it makes me wonder, did you add sort of a component of say, hey, a certain portion of the proceeds go back to the cause that you're sort of pushing? How come you never thought about putting that sort of philanthropy side inside the business model either?
So we do donate time and money to organizations that help people of color thrive. I come from a heavy organizational background. I'm president of NAACP, National Congress of Black Women, Top Teens of America. So it was always, to me, it started with social justice, and then it was okay, businesses have to make money. So how could I tap into a market that's helping people out? And I noticed money is the root of all elevation. Finance is the root of all elevation. So I'm why can't I? I can empower and I can donate. So that's something that we have been doing, and we look forward to continue to do in the future.
And then when you look at the business, are you staying primarily with just the oils and the brushes? It looked to me like maybe you had some other stuff to it, and now it's the oil and brushes, right? What is
right here, our enhancing oil, and this is actually a shampoo bar made with healing herbs that help with postpartum shedding, razor bumps and burns, all that amazing stuff.
Okay.
And you can use it on your beard and your scalp. But we're definitely looking forward to expanding.
Yeah, and so look, I only say this, right, in the sense of, here's the structure of your business, right? Where you have, two items, similar price, $18.99, $16.99, both of which are disposable, right? So, which means, how long does the oil and the shower brush last? It's just
so we definitely been looking at.
Is it a 30 days?
Turnaround.
Is it 30 days? How much?
So the shampoo bar lasts a very long time. It replaces several bottles of your leading shampoo. Most of my customers have been this thing lasts forever. Yeah. And I'm yes, it does. The oil, it depends on if you're using it on your hair shaft or just your scalp or your beard. That varies. It can last you about a month if you're using it every once a week or longer. Yeah.
And look, and this is what I want you to think about. This is how I'd like you to think about your entire business journey. Right? Because, when you have these products and you have one customer who buys it every 2 months, you're talking about $115, $120 of revenue a year per customer, right? So it becomes like that relationship with that customer becomes so valuable right? And you want to stack one at a time and set your goal of like, how can I sell to one customer for multiple years in a row, right? Because you have to, if you get 1,000 customers that buy each of your products like bi-monthly, every other month, you're already looking at 70,000-80,000 in revenue. That puts you in this position to really have a sustainable business, right? Like your matrix, if you will, of success becomes super simple and super personal in the sense of it's DMing people directly. How did it feel? How do you like it? It's like building that relationship because all you need is 1,000 core customers to make your business literally give you an amazing life. You know what I mean? A sustainable income that becomes your base. You know what I mean? 500 to 1,000 people that believe in your product and you, that you stay connected with, creates this very simple baseline for you to be sustainable while you continue to chase the other things in your journey, right? Going to school, being an activist, being able to do all the other things. Like, and so it's that idea of the setup of your business allows you to create your KPIs, your key performance indicators that are super easy to follow, that should motivate you. It's like, and it starts first with like, I got, 10 customers that order every month, every other month, and that you stay communicated with, like, and then at some point, as that begins to scale, you could bring on somebody and pay them to communicate with them so they stay more connected with.
Yes, that's definitely crucial.
Yeah. So I just say, rather than think too broad, it's like, man, like a couple a core group of customers could be like the main thing that keeps you in a sustainability and builds a foundation for you long term.
Customer connection is definitely key. That's what I saw in the industry. A lot of the people that were distributing the products that were on the shelves or making it weren't a part of the target market. So I realized I'm a part of the target market. I can help serve the community around me and really curate and cultivate and make my customers not feel like they're just a number or I just want to make profit. I care so very much about what happens in the social and emotional part of your life. And that's why we just want to innovate media representation, because media is everything. It's so influential and it affects how we look at ourselves.
And look, and I think if you just keep saying that, same, keeping that clarity over and over and making it personal is ultimately where you can build that customer base. And I do think with this money, I think you should get a ton of product and get that DM people, be like, hey, I'd love for you to use it, let you know what you feel and post about it if you like it. Like really try to push it organically, because I think that's where that connection that you have for basically being the consumer, both in spirit and soul, I think that really matters in making that connection. So I really like that. I really think that sort of aspect of keeping the business simple and trying to find core consumers for these two products before trying to go too big is really what the journey should be for you, And look, I would love to hear your life vision as you see it today, as a young woman about to enter college. Like, I would love to hear from you, sort of like, hey, here's my business vision. But when I see sort of like my future, what my life looks like, here's how I would like my life to look like. I'd love to hear your life vision.
Well, the life vision, whoa, that's humongous, pretty big. I see myself definitely being in a place of influence. I like to innovate any space that I'm in, and have, multiple streams of income. Yes, I want to expand my business, but beyond that, I want to definitely work in the marketing field. I am going to college majoring in communications, minoring in Africana studies. So I plan to take the information I learn and take it to mainstream. I know I definitely want to be in a leadership position or be in a position where I'm learning a lot. because I just have so many ideas and so many things that I'd like to do. So that's why networking for me, my last vision is to make sure I'm networking with the right people to get not only myself where I need to be, but those around me
Yeah,
where
and
we need
look,
to be.
I know that you will. You know what I mean? And the reality of it is it, I always try to ask people, young entrepreneurs specifically, of like always trying to think about not like just what does like financial success or business success look like, but what does a successful life look like? And if you don't start thinking about how does my business and the way of life that I want to live serve me properly, right? Because you don't want to end up, where you're dedicating all your time to keep your business thriving and then not be able to feed your
Mhm.
soul by mentoring and playing a
Yeah.
part of this other.
Be out there, war all
Yeah,
out.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Like,
yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
living.
and or just not
You
having
don't
the
want that.
time, So always be
Mhm.
thoughtful of like, that you are creating a life, and part of creating that life is a
Mhm.
holistic aspect of both health, wealth, life, and work, and always be thinking about how all of those integrate together, and know this. Um, as you continue to grow and evolve, like your ideas and what makes you happy, what gives you energy will also continue to evolve. We are evolutionary beings, and you know how much different you are from 3 years ago, and you'll be so much different in 3 years from now, and it's part of the process is learning how to continually reshape the vision for yourself and ultimately what success and happiness means to you as you're evolving, and above all, always chase energy over anything else. Use that barometer. Does this make me feel, give me energy, or take energy from me, to decide whether or not
Yeah.
it's in the right thing for you? Because make no mistake, you're gonna get real excited about some things and go on a journey to chase it, and then it'll seem like it's gonna be amazing, but it ends up taking way more than you realize, and you don't like it as
Mhm.
much. That's when you pivot. You
Yeah.
know what I
Let
mean?
them
That's
know,
when you
Rob.
pivot. Don't be afraid to pivot
Mhm.
in life. If it doesn't feel right, pivot in life. You know what I mean? Rather than just in business.
Yeah. If it doesn't feel right, you said pivot. Pivot,
Look, if it
yes, that's
doesn't
a song
feel
right
right,
there.
pivot in
Right?
life.
Pivot. If it doesn't feel right, pivot in life. If
Well,
it doesn't feel right, pivot in
I
life.
said, if
There
it doesn't feel right, pivot in life. It doesn't feel right, pivot in
Man, put that
life.
pivot
Man, look, that's
in.
it. Look,
Ah,
look, we're both
yes.
activists, entrepreneurs, and entertainers, man. It's deeper than
Yes.
business. All right, look, I
Yes.
appreciate having you coming on here. I'm so thankful that you are the winner. I wish you the absolute best. I know you're gonna have incredible success in life, and I look forward to seeing your journey unfold. So I appreciate you for coming on.
Yes, thank you so much. You're just such an inspiration to me because you just break the mold for what an entrepreneur normally is. You goofy, but you still handle your business, and I love it. Thank you. This has been a pleasure to be
All
here.
right,
Thank you,
listen to
Rob.
me. All the best. Be good. All right, that is it for our show. Man, I love these episodes where we get to speak to these different organizations that we support with our foundation. Thank you for everybody who listens. Again, support these organizations. Whether it's donating your time, funds, whatever it may be. NFTE.com is nifty, and you can see the type of class of students and young people that's something an organization like Nifty is helping in, and how smart and brilliant that young lady was. And again, we love supporting it, and love to see the different entrepreneurs evolve. And again, our very own Charles Choice, who runs the Do or Die Visionary Foundation, is also a product of Nifty. So anything you can do to support them would be amazing. As always, everything that we're doing is at DyrdekMachine.com. And you know what it is. We're just looking for vision way out into the future. Clear plans that you got to be adaptable when you're doing them, and ultimately push it with everything you got. Till next time, see it, believe it, do it.